Mrs. My dad needs a wife. Would you marry him? Laura nearly spit out her coffee. Her cup shook in her hand as she stared at the wide-eyed boy who'd just appeared at her table, hands clasped in plea, soaked from the rain pouring down on Fifth Avenue. Matt, for God's sake. A man came running up, equally drenched, his face red with embarrassment. He grabbed the boy's arm, pulling him back. I'm so sorry, miss. My son, he didn't. But Dad, you said you needed help? Not that kind of help. Laura blinked, processing the surreal scene. The boy couldn't be more than 7 years old, his yellow jacket dripping onto the marble floor. The man was all sharp angles and shame his work clothes stained with plaster. It's okay, she found her voice surprised by the laugh threatening to escape. It's not the strangest proposal I've ever gotten. The man looked at her, and something in his expression made the air thicken. My apologies again. Come on, Matt. You're soaked. Laura pointed to the empty chairs under the awning. At least wait out the storm. Sean hesitated. His pride screamed to leave, but Matt was already tugging his hand toward the table. Please, Dad, I'm freezing. They sat. Laura waved over the waiter. 2 hot chocolates. No need. I insist. Sean clenched his jaw but nodded. Laura studied the boy, who watched her with a scientist's fascination examining a new species. What's your name? Matt Turner. I'm 7 years old and my mom's in heaven. Laura's heart clenched. I'm sorry to hear that. It was 2 years ago. Matt spoke with the matter-of-factness of someone who'd repeated it many times. A car accident. Dad says she watches over us from above, but I think he needs help down here. Matt, enough. The boy ignored his father, leaning toward Laura. Are you married? No kids. Don't like kids either. Laura smiled, despite it all. You're growing on me so far. Matt beamed triumphantly. See, Dad, she likes me. Sean rubbed his face with both hands. Forgive him, he's been obsessed lately. Obsessed with what? With all his friends having moms and him not. The words hung between them, raw and honest. Laura felt something stir in her chest, something dormant for a long time. The hot chocolates arrived. Matt cupped his with both hands, sighing happily. Sean wrapped his work-stained fingers around his mug, not drinking. I'm Sean, by the way. Turner. Laura. Just Laura. She hesitated a fraction. Sanders. A lie by omission. She didn't mention her last name graced buildings across the city. Work nearby, I have an office a few blocks away. Another half-truth. Her office occupied the top floors of a tower her family built. And construction. I'm on a site here on 5th. Matt interrupted chocolate on his mustache. Dad also studies at night. Engineering. Sean shot him a warning look, but Laura caught the pride in his eyes. That's admirable. It's necessary. The way he said it, no frills or self-pity, hit Laura. This was a man who didn't ask for pity. And he asked. What do you do in this office? Management stuff. Nothing exciting. Sean nodded, but his eyes scanned her tailored Armani suit, the Cartier watch she'd forgotten to remove. Laura saw the exact moment he did the math. Must pay well. There was an edge to his voice. It's comfortable. Sure. The silence stretched awkwardly. Now Matt watched them both, confused by the shift. The rain slowed to a drizzle. Sean stood. Thanks for the chocolate. Let's go, Matt. But already, yes, already. Something in his tone made the boy obey without protest. Sean pulled out his wallet, counting bills. How much? On me. No, please, I said no. He left exact change plus tip on the table. Laura saw his calloused hands, nails with paint remnants. Pleasure meeting you. Sean looked at her directly for the first time since sitting. His eyes were deep brown, exhausted but proud. We're from different worlds, Laura Sanders. My son doesn't get that yet, but I do. How do you know your watch costs more than my 3 months' salary? Your suit probably more. You don't need to mix with folks like us. I didn't think that, Matt. The boy turned as his father dragged him away. You were really nice, Miss Laura. Hope to see you again. And they vanished into the drizzle, leaving Laura alone with 2 half-finished hot chocolates and a strange feeling in her chest. The waiter cleared the mugs. Cute kid. Yeah. Shame they left so quick. Laura touched her mug's rim, still warm. Yeah, shame. But it wasn't shame she felt. It was something more dangerous. Curiosity, interest, the first spark of something real in years of dates with men who only saw her last name. Sean Turner wanted nothing from her. In fact, he'd rejected her, and that against all logic made him the most interesting man she'd met in a long time. Laura glanced at her watch, that damn watch that had given it all away, and made a decision that would change everything. She was going to see that proud man and his adorable son again, even if she had to search the whole city. Laura hadn't slept in 3 days. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw those exhausted brown eyes rejecting her. Every time she tried to focus on financial reports, she heard Matt's voice. "My dad needs a wife." Her assistant, Patricia, set another coffee on her desk. "That's your 5th today. You okay?" "Perfectly. And that's why you've been staring at the same page for 20 minutes. Laura slammed the folder shut harder than needed. "I need info on construction sites. All of them." Patricia raised an eyebrow. "All of them. I want personnel reports, names, shifts, locations." Can I ask why, number 2 hours later, Laura had what she wanted? Sean Turner Mason, 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., shift on the Park Avenue project. Then, night classes at the Technical University. Patricia entered without knocking. Looking for someone? Reviewing operations. Laura. "I've known you 8 years. You've never asked for construction personnel reports." Laura spun in her chair, defeated. "I met someone, and I can't stop thinking about him." Patricia sat fascinated. "Spill." "Nothing to spill. He rejected me." "Someone rejected you. He thinks I'm too different." "You told him who you are." "I said I'm an office manager." Patricia burst out laughing. "Oh my God, you're in love. Don't be ridiculous, just curious." "And what are you doing with that curiosity?" Laura eyed the report on her desk. Something probably stupid. The next day, Laura stood before her closet for 30 minutes. She discarded 3 suits before choosing jeans and a simple sweater. She removed all expensive accessories. In the mirror, she barely recognized herself. Perfect. She arrived at the Park Avenue site at 1:30. Workers streamed out for lunch, noisy and dirty. Laura leaned against a nearby tree pretending to check her phone, and then she saw him. Sean emerged with a group of men laughing at something one said. Without the cafe embarrassment, he looked different, more relaxed, more handsome. His eyes found her. The laugh died on his lips. He walked over. His buddies whistled behind him. "Laura, hi. What are you doing here, just passing through the area?" "Passing?" His tone skeptical. "Okay, I lied. I looked for you." The honesty seemed to disarm him. "Why? Because I haven't stopped thinking about you since the cafe." One of his co-workers yelled, "Turner, introduce us to your girlfriend." Sean blushed to his ears. "Shut up, idiots." But he looked at Laura with something like curiosity. "Have you eaten lunch? No. There's a hot dog cart on the corner. Not fancy. I didn't ask for fancy." They walked in silence to the cart. Sean ordered 2 hot dogs and 2 sodas, pulling crumpled bills from his pocket. Laura didn't protest. This time they sat on a park bench, the city buzzing around them. So Sean bit into his hot dog. "You looked for me, yes. Why? Your son grew on me. Matt grows on everyone. And you grew on me too." Sean studied her, chewing slowly. "I don't get what you want from me. It has to be complicated. Maybe I just want to know you. Women like you don't seek out guys like me." "Women like me. Educated, good jobs, expensive clothes. This sweater cost $1. "Liar. I recognize cashmere when I see it." Laura laughed, despite herself. "Okay, maybe 20. Sean shook his head, but a smile tugged at his lips. "You're persistent. When something matters to me, yes. And I matter to you, I don't even know you. That's why I want to." They finished eating. Sean wiped his hands on a paper napkin. "Gotta get back to work. I know." But she hesitated. "Want to grab a drink after I get off at 6. Laura's heart leaped. I'd love that. The coffee shop Sean chose was small, with formica tables and fluorescent lights. Laura loved it instantly. They sat by the window. Sean had changed from work clothes to clean jeans and a simple shirt, his hair still damp from a quick shower. "Thanks for coming," he said. "Thanks for inviting." The waiter took their orders. Black coffee for both. Then Laura leaned forward. "Tell me about you. Always wanted to be an engineer?" Sean laughed bitterly. "No, wanted to be an architect, but architecture takes years of college I couldn't afford. Engineering's more practical. I can work and study. How much longer? 2 years, if all goes well. And Matt," Sean's expression softened instantly. "His grandparents." Ellen's parents watch him when I have class. They're good to him. Must be hard-working studying single dad. It is what it is. Matt deserves a better life than I had. What was your life like, I mean? Sean sipped his coffee thoughtfully. My parents died when I was a kid. Grandparents raised me. We didn't have much, but we had love. He paused. Ellen was my neighbor. Met her at 12. Always knew I'd marry her. There was so much pain in his voice that Laura wanted to touch him, but held back. How did it happen? A cab hit her crossing the street. Died in the hospital. Matt was 5. His knuckles whitened around the mug. Sometimes it doesn't even feel real. I'm sorry. Not your fault. Still sorry. Sean looked at her. Really looked like seeing her for the first time, and you family. Laura walked a tightrope of truth. My parents are alive. I have a sister. We're close. Past boyfriends, one a year ago. Didn't work out. Why? Because he only wanted my business connections. But she said, we wanted different things. What do you want? The question caught her off guard. Honestly, I don't know. For a long time I thought I did, but lately she stopped. Lately I've wondered if I've been chasing the wrong things. Sean nodded slowly. I get that. After Ellen died, everything I thought mattered changed. They talked until the shop closed. Sean insisted on paying again. Laura let him win that battle. Outside, the night was cool. Sean shoved his hands in his pockets. You live nearby, a few miles. Got a car? Yes. Good. He hesitated. This was nice. Very nice. Can I see you again? Laura smiled. I thought you'd never ask. They exchanged numbers. Sean pocketed his phone but didn't move. Laura, before this, whatever this is goes further. I need you to know something. What I can't offer you much. No money. My life's complicated. I have a son who'll always come first. I'm not looking for you to offer anything. Still need to say it. I'm not the guy who takes women to fancy restaurants or impresses with gifts. Laura stepped closer. Sean, the man who just spent 2 hours telling me about his son, his dreams, his fears that impressed me more than any fancy restaurant ever could. Something shifted in his expression. Vulnerability mixed with hope. Really, really. They stood on the sidewalk, the world moving around them until Sean finally smiled. You're weird, Laura Sanders. I hear that a lot. That night, Laura drove home with a light heart for the first time in months. Her phone buzzed at a light. Sean Matt asks if the nice lady can come visit. I told him maybe. Maybe. Laura texted back, definitely yes. In his small apartment, Sean read the message 3 times. Matt slept in the next room hugging the teddy bear Ellen had given him. Ellen Sean whispered to the air, I don't know if this is okay. I don't know if I'm betraying you, but that kid needs more than just me. And I need something too. No answer, just night silence. But for the first time in 2 years, Sean felt something like hope, and that for now was enough. Laura arrived at Central Park with a bag full of things she'd never bought before. A cheap kite, a deflated soccer ball, ice cream, and a portable cooler. Matt spotted her first and rocketed toward her, Miss Laura. The nickname hit her right in the heart. She knelt just in time for his full-impact hug. Hey, champ, Dad said you'd come. I wore my Yankees shirt to impress you. Sean walked up behind a shy smile on his face. I warned you he'd be intense. I like intense. They spent the afternoon flying the kite. Well, trying to. Laura had no clue how, and Sean wasn't much better. Matt ended up instructing them. No, Dad, you gotta run faster. I'm running as fast as I can, little dictator. Then you run too slow. Laura laughed until her stomach hurt. When they finally got the kite airborne, Matt screamed victory so loud other parkgoers turned. See, Miss Laura, it's flying. I see. It's beautiful. Matt handed the string to his dad and ran to her. Can I ask you something? Sure. Are you going to stay? The question so direct, so loaded. Laura didn't know what to say. What do you mean Dad had a girlfriend before a long time ago? She left because she said I was too much work. His big eyes studied her. I am a lot of work. Laura hugged him tight. Matt, you're perfect. Anyone who thinks different is an idiot. So you'll stay. I'm not going anywhere. Liar whispered a voice in her head. You're lying to a kid. But Matt smiled and Laura shoved the guilt into a dark corner of her mind. Their third date was a free concert in the botanical garden. Sean brought an old blanket and homemade sandwiches wrapped in foil. Not gourmet, he apologized. It's perfect. And it was. Sitting on the grass listening to music floating in the night air, Laura felt something she'd never experienced in all her years of five-star dinners. Peace. "What are you thinking?" asked Sean. "That I've never done this." Free music, sitting on grass eating sandwiches. Being normal, Sean looked at her strangely. "Your family must be very formal." Laura tiptoed around truth. "Let's say family dinners are events, not meals." "Sounds awful." "It is." Sean offered her half his sandwich. Their fingers brushed in the exchange. "Thanks for coming with me. I know you're probably used to better things. Sean, this is better. A ham and cheese sandwich. This you the honesty." Something sparked in his eyes. He opened his mouth to say something, but the music swelled and the moment passed. But Laura felt the unspoken words hanging between them heavy with possibility. For their fifth date, Sean took her walking along the Hudson River. "I used to come here with Ellen," he said suddenly, "before Matt was born. Does it bother you being here with me? No, that's the weird part." He stopped staring at the water. "I thought I'd feel guilty, but Ellen would have wanted me." He swallowed. "Would have wanted me happy. Are you happy?" Sean looked at her straight. "I'm starting to remember what it feels like." Laura wanted to kiss him. Wanted to confess everything. Wanted. Her phone buzzed. Robert again. 10th call of the day. Need to answer, "No, just work." Must be important if they're calling so much. Nothing's more important than this. Sean smiled, but there was a question in his eyes Laura pretended not to see. Monday. Laura arrived late to the board meeting. Everyone stared as she entered. Robert leaned in, whispering, "Long breakfast with your builder boyfriend? Shut up. The board wants to know why you've been absent. 3 meetings canceled in 2 weeks. I have a right to a personal life." "Personal life," Robert chuckled softly. "Laura, you're the CEO. You don't have a personal life," Patricia interrupted with a coffee tray. Her eyes screamed warning. The meeting was a disaster. Laura hadn't reviewed the numbers. Forgot a crucial presentation. Approved a budget without really reading it. When it ended, Robert followed her to her office. "What's going on with you?" "Nothing. I've known you 10 years. This isn't nothing." Laura dropped into her chair. "I met someone, and he makes me happy." Robert sat on her desk edge. "Laura, happiness is nice, but you have responsibilities. Your family built this empire. You can't let it crumble for a romance." "I'm not letting it crumble." "Then focus." His voice softened. "Look, I get it. We all need distractions. Just don't lose sight of who you are." After he left, Patricia entered. "You gonna tell him the truth? Who's Sean?" "About who you really are." Laura turned to the window. Her reflection stared back, polished and lying. "Not yet. When I'm sure he won't leave, and if he gets angrier because you waited. It's a risk I'll have to take." Friday, Sean introduced her to his coworkers during lunch. 5 rough guys who eyed her like an exotic specimen. "Guys, this is Laura." The famous Laura one elbowed Sean. "We thought you made her up. Why would I make her up? Because she's out of your league, bro." Sean tensed, but Laura took his hand. "I think I'm the lucky one." The men laughed, accepting her instantly. They shared burgers and work stories. Laura found herself genuinely enjoying it, but when Sean went to the bathroom Carlos leaned in. "Look, I don't know your intentions, but Turner's a good guy." "I know. He's been through a lot. He and the kid don't need more pain. I don't plan to cause pain." Carlos studied her. "You're different from us. It shows in how you talk, how you move." He paused. "Women like you don't stick with guys like us. Eventually you remember where you came from." The words stabbed like knives. "You don't know me. No, but I know how the world works." Sean returned and the moment passed, but Carlos's words echoed in Laura's mind all day. Sunday, the 3 went back to the park. Matt played soccer with other kids while Sean and Laura sat on a blanket watching. "He loves you a lot," said Sean. "I love him too. I don't say it lightly. Matt doesn't attach easily. Since Ellen, he stopped. He's cautious. But with you, it's different. He's a special kid. I know. That's why I need to ask something." Laura's heart raced. "What is this real for you? Because if not, I need to know now, before Matt gets more attached before I—" He cleared his throat before this goes further. Laura met his eyes. She could tell the truth, confess everything. Now it's real, she said instead. The realest thing I've had in a long time. It wasn't a lie, but not the whole truth. Sean exhaled, relieved. Good, because I'm feeling something too and it scares me. Why? Because the last time I felt this way I lost her, and I don't know if I could survive that again. Laura took his hand. I'm not going anywhere. Liar screamed her conscience. Liar, liar, liar. The sun started setting, painting the sky orange and pink. Matt fell asleep on the blanket between them, exhausted from play. Sean looked at the sleeping boy, then Laura. Thanks. For what? For making us feel like a family again. And then he leaned in and kissed her. It was soft, tentative, loaded with 2 years of loneliness and 3 weeks of anticipation. Laura felt the world vanish. Only Sean's lips existed. Matt's weight against her leg, the river whispering afar. When they parted, both trembled. Sorry, whispered Sean. I should have asked first. Don't apologize. Was it okay? Laura laughed softly. It was perfect. They stayed like that as the sun sank fully. 3 people on a blanket, pretending family. And somewhere in the city, Robert received a manila envelope full of photos of Laura Sanders, multimillionaire heiress CEO of Sanders Developments, kissing a construction worker in the park. The storm was coming, but for now, in this perfect fragile moment, Laura let herself believe lies didn't matter, that love would be enough, that she could have both worlds without either crumbling. How foolish. My in-laws want to meet you. Laura nearly choked on her coffee. They were on their park bench, Matt chasing pigeons a few feet away. Your in-laws, Ellen's parents. They watch Matt when I work. Sean toyed with his cup's rim. They've been my family since I was 16. It'd mean a lot if you met them. Are they ready for that? For you with someone new? I asked Martha Ellen's mom. She said they just want me happy. He paused. Though they'll probably grill you. Grill. They're protective of me and Matt. Want to make sure you're not. He stopped. Not with someone who'll hurt us. Guilt twisted Laura's stomach like a fist. And what do you think? Sean looked at her with those brown eyes that undid her. I think you're the best thing that's happened to me in 2 years, and that terrifies me. The house of Matt's grandparents was in Queens, an hour from Midtown. Small, but spotless, with a garden full of flowers that clearly got obsessive love. Martha opened the door before they knocked, 50-something with eyes that saw too much. Sean, my boy. She hugged him tight, then turned to Laura. You must be Laura. Pleasure to meet you, Laura. Martha, please. Come in, come in. The house smelled of homemade stew and fresh bread. Photos of Ellen covered every surface. Laura felt her presence in every corner. George Ellen's dad was in the kitchen, a big silent man who shook Laura's hand with calculated firmness. Hi. Hi, Mr. Miller. George. Matt burst from a back room. Miss Laura, come see my room at grandparents'. He dragged her before she could protest. His room was really a nook with a twin bed and toys organized with military precision. Grandparents are strict about tidiness, whispered Matt. But they make the best meatloaf in the world. Better than Dad's. Don't tell him I said that. Laura laughed, ruffling his hair. When they returned, the table was set. Old but well-kept china. Cheap wine in crystal glasses. Dinner started civil. Martha asked about Laura's job. And what do you do, dear office administration? What kind of offices, corporate manage operations, that sort of thing. George cut his meat with surgical precision. Pays well, George warned Martha. Valid question. We need to know our son-in-law isn't dating someone just looking for financial stability. Sean tensed. That's completely inappropriate. No, it's fine. Laura breathed deep. I understand the concern, but I'm not with Sean for money. In fact, he insists on paying for everything, despite me, despite what George's eyes narrowed, despite me earning more than him. Silence. Then Martha laughed. Well, honesty, I like that. The tension broke slightly. They kept eating. Matt filled silences with school stories. After dinner, Martha pulled Laura aside while the men washed dishes. Can I show you something? She led her to a small room. More Ellen photos. Ellen as a girl at quinceañera, with Sean pregnant holding newborn Matt. She was beautiful, said Laura softly. She was my everything. Martha touched a photo. When she died, we almost lost Sean too. He shut down completely. Didn't eat, didn't sleep, just worked and cared for Matt like a robot. I can't imagine that pain. But lately, Martha looked at her. Lately, he smiles again. Matt says it's because of you. Matt exaggerates. Kids don't lie about these things. Martha took her hands. So I need to ask directly. Are you serious about my son-in-law? Laura wanted to tell the truth. Open her mouth and confess all. Instead, she said very serious. Even with all the complications. A widower, a child responsibilities, little money. None of that matters to me. Martha studied her a long moment. I believe you, but there's something you're not telling me. Laura's heart stopped. What do you mean I don't know just mother's intuition? She squeezed her hands. Whatever it is, tell him soon. Secrets poison love faster than anything. Monday. Laura got to the office at 6 a.m. She needed to work Focus-B CEO again. Robert was waiting in her office. Early riser, lots to do, I'm sure. He tossed a manila envelope on her desk, though maybe not as much as you think. Laura opened it. Photos dozens. Her and Sean walking, her and Matt flying kites. The three like family in the park. The last made her nauseous. The kiss at sunset. Matt asleep between them. You had me followed. I was worried about you. Clearly with good reason. You had no right. I have every right. Robert leaned over the desk. You're CEO of a multi-billion-dollar company. Your personal life is bored business, especially when you're playing house with a construction worker. Watch how you talk about him. Or what you'll fire me. He laughed. Your dad gave me 10% of this company. I'm a shareholder. You can't touch me. What do you want? I want you to use your brain. This romance is cute but unsustainable. Eventually you'll have to choose your real life or this fantasy. It's not a fantasy. You didn't tell him who you really are, that you're his boss, that your watch costs more than his car. Laura didn't answer. Thought so. Robert straightened. End it now before it gets messier or I'll do it for you. Don't you dare. Try me. After he left, Laura threw up in her private bathroom. When Patricia entered, she found her on the floor. Oh God, what happened? Robert knows, has photos, and threatened to, I don't know, do something. Patricia sat beside her on the cold marble. You have to tell Sean the truth. I can't. Why not? He'll hate me. He'll think I was playing with him, that I'm like all those bored rich women treating poor people like charity projects. But you're not like that. He won't see the difference. Patricia handed her a tissue. The longer you wait, the worse it'll be. I know. Then do it today. I can't. This week, Patricia. Promise me. Laura nodded, but both knew it was a lie. That night, Sean called. You okay? You sound off, just tired from work. I'm working you too hard. Background noise. Listen, calling to ask something. What I've been saving. Want to take you to a nice restaurant. Really nice. This Saturday. Laura's stomach sank. She knew what saving meant for him. Sean, you don't need to. I want to. You deserve to be treated right, not just hot dogs and cheap coffees. I love hot dogs and cheap coffees. Still, his voice softened. Let me do this, please. Okay, it'd be lovely. When she hung up, Laura stared in the mirror. The woman staring back was a stranger. Her half-invented character. Her phone buzzed. Message from Matt on Sean's phone. A photo. A crayon drawing of 3 stick figures. Tall one with yellow hair, her. Medium with black hair, Sean. Small in the middle. Matt. Above in messy letters, my family. Laura cried until no tears left. She had to tell the truth, but not yet. Just a little more time in this perfect fake world. Just a little more. Friday, Robert returned. Final decision, Laura. End it or I will. Why do you care so much? Because you're distracted. The company needs you focused. Because he stopped. Because what? Because if you self-destruct, I move up. He smiled. Someone has to fill the leadership void. I'm practical. You have until Monday. Laura sat alone in her office till midnight, staring at the lit city below. Somewhere out there, Sean was saving every dollar to impress her. Matt was drawing family pictures, and she was destroying it all with every second of silence. The phone rang. Sean. Hey, still working? Yes, you work too much, need rest. I know. Laura, you okay? You've been weird all week? This was her chance. Say it now, confess all. I'm fine. Just work stress. Want to talk about it? No, her voice cracked. Just tell me you love me. Silence. Then I love you. I know it's too soon, but I do. Love you, Laura? Tears streamed down her face. I love you too. And it was true, which made it all infinitely worse. The restaurant was the kind Laura would have lunched at without thinking. For Sean, it represented months of savings. She knew it the moment they entered, the way his eyes scanned the room, calculating shoulders squaring like battle prep. It's beautiful, said Laura softly. Wanted to do this right. Sean adjusted his tie, the only one he owned. Wine, asked the waiter. The house Cabernet said, Sean clearly having memorized something sophisticated. Laura wanted to stop this, wanted to confess everything before Laura Sanders froze. She knew that voice. Robert appeared in her view-shark smile on his face. 3 businessmen behind him. Can't believe it's you. What are you doing here? Every word a carefully placed bomb. Robert, her voice strangled. Having dinner? I see. His eyes slid to Sean, who'd stood politely. And who's your companion, Sean Turner? He extended his hand. Robert shook it, smile widening. Robert Greene, business partner of Miss Sanders. Well, miss, he laughed. Miss sounds too modest for the owner of Sanders Developments, doesn't it? The world stopped. Sean looked at Robert then. Laura, face draining of color. Owner? Oh, you didn't know? Robert faked surprise. Laura, you didn't tell your friend about the family business, the hotel's properties? How was it? Ah, yes. The construction firm that probably employs him. Robert, stop. What? Just making conversation. He turned to Sean. What site you working on, Sean? Park Avenue? His voice stone. Park Avenue? That's one of ours. Small world. So technically you work for Laura. Sean sat slowly like his legs couldn't hold him. We need to talk, said Laura desperately. Oh, don't let me interrupt. Robert gestured to his group. Just wanted to say hi. Enjoy dinner, Laura. You too, Sean, though maybe let her pay, she can clearly afford it. They left his laugh floating behind. The table? Silence was nuclear. Sean, owner. His voice barely a whisper. Let me explain. Owner of Sanders Developments. Yes, but the company that employs me. Technically, yes, but I don't. How much? He looked straight at her. How much money do you have? That doesn't matter. How much? People turned to stare. Laura lowered her voice. Millions. Lots of millions. Sean laughed a horrible empty sound. And you're what office manager? It's technically true. I manage offices because you're the owner, Sean. I wanted to tell you. But what? Couldn't find the time in the last weeks, in the 5 dates, in the park with my son. When you said you loved me, all that was true. True. He leaned forward, voice venomous. You know what's true? Every time I pulled out my wallet and counted bills for a coffee, you sat there knowing you're a millionaire. That when I worried about affording this restaurant, you probably dine here all the time. I never wanted you to feel what's small insignificant like a charity project for a bored rich girl. You're not a project. Then what am I? His eyes red. What was this to you? Poverty tourism? Wanted to see how the other half lives. I love you. You don't know me enough to love me. He stood. And I clearly didn't know you at all. Please don't go. Why stay? So you can keep lying, so you can laugh at how stupid I was. I never laughed at you. No, he tossed his napkin on the table. Because I feel like this whole thing's been an elaborate joke. The poor widower and his kid. How entertaining we must have been for you. He walked out. Laura followed stumbling in heels. Sean, wait. New York's night enveloped them. Hudson Yards glowed with fancy restaurant lights and yachts Sean could never afford. What part was a lie he asked without turning? Nothing. It was all real. Bullshit. He spun. Your name was a lie. Your job a lie. Your whole life a lie. I didn't lie about my feelings. No, because you said you understood struggling with money. Said your family was formal but not rich. Said a million things that made me think we were. His voice broke. Equals. We are equals. We're not equals, he shouted. I'm your employee, Laura. I work on a building you own. I live in an apartment you could probably buy with your purse change. Money doesn't matter. Easy to say when you have it. He wiped his eyes roughly. Know what's worst? You made me feel like I was enough, like I could offer something valuable. And all along, you were what? Slumming it, I was falling in love with you. You weren't falling for a version of yourself you invented. The normal girl on normal dates with normal people. He laughed bitterly. Except you're not normal, and this was never real. It was real for me. Then you should have told the truth. I was scared. Of what? Of this? She gestured between them. Of you leaving, of you looking at me exactly like you are now, like a liar. You mean like someone who can't win? Tears streamed. If I'd told you at first, you'd have rejected me for my money. By waiting, you reject me for lying. No right way. The right way was honesty. From the start. He stepped back. But you can't even be honest now, can you? Because this was never about me. It was about you wanting to play normal. That's not fair. Fair. You met Matt. Met my dead wife's family. Made me believe we could have a future all while knowing our worlds were completely different and would never touch. They can touch. They're touching. No, his voice final. This is over, Sean. Don't call me, don't look for me, don't, his voice cracked, don't lie to me ever again. He walked away, vanishing into Hudson Yards streets. Laura stood alone on the sidewalk, her world crumbling. A cab pulled up. The driver looked at her with pity. You okay, miss? No, she wasn't okay. She'd never be okay again. 3 days passed before Laura could function as human. Patricia found her on her office floor Monday, still in Saturday's dress. Oh God, he's gone. Laura stared at the ceiling. He's gone, and he's right. You need to go home, shower, sleep. I need to fix this. But she couldn't. Texts bounced, unread calls to voicemail, emails undelivered. He'd blocked her everywhere. Thursday, Laura drove to his apartment. Buzzed for 10 minutes. Martha finally opened, blocking the door. He's not here. Please, I need to talk to him. You've done enough damage, don't you get it? I do. Martha's eyes were ice. My son-in-law spent 2 years recovering from losing his wife. 2 years learning to live again. And you waltzed in and gave him hope. Made him believe he could love again, that he deserved happiness. And it was all a lie. It wasn't a lie. I love him. Love doesn't lie. Love doesn't hide who it is. Love doesn't make a man feel like trash for not affording a fancy restaurant for a woman who could buy the whole place. I never wanted him to feel that, but he did. Martha started closing the door. Matt asks for you every day, cries every night. Sean can't even look at him without guilt for bringing you into our lives. Please let me explain. Nothing to explain. You're rich, he's poor. You pretended to be something you're not. And now we're all paying for your deception. The door shut with finality. Don't come back. Laura stood in the hallway staring at the closed door until a neighbor asked her to leave. In his apartment, Sean couldn't sleep. 5 sleepless nights staring at the ceiling, replaying every moment with Laura. Matt shuffled in Teddy underarm. Dad, why are you awake? Can't sleep? He climbed into bed. Miss Laura's mad at me. Sean's heart split in two. No champ. She's not mad at you. Then why doesn't she come anymore? Because how to explain to a 7-year-old because adults sometimes make mistakes. She made a mistake. A big one, yes, very big. Matt considered this. When I make big mistakes, you forgive me. This is different. Why? Because... Sean closed his eyes. She lied to me about something very important. More important than when I lied about breaking your favorite mug. Much more. Oh, Matt hugged his Teddy. I miss her. Me too. And it was true, God. It was true. He missed her so much it hurt to breathe. Missed her laugh. Missed how she looked at Matt. Missed how she made him feel enough, except he never was right. She owned buildings. He built them. She grabbed coffee without thinking. He counted coins for one. She was Laura Sanders, multimillionaire heiress. He was Sean Turner. Nobody. How had he thought this could work? Matt fell asleep against him. Sean carried him back to bed, kissing his forehead. Sorry, little one, so sorry. Back in his room, he opened his phone. 43 messages from Laura. Hadn't read any. His finger hovered over the first. No, he couldn't. Because if he heard her, saw her, if she cried and apologized and begged, he might forgive her. And forgiving meant accepting their relationship would always be unequal, that he'd always be the project, the poor guy needing rescue. Sean had lived with little all his life, but always had dignity. Laura had taken even that. He blocked her number on everything. Then cried for the first time since Ellen's funeral, sobs shaking his whole body. because he'd fallen in love, completely, irrevocably in love, and that made the betrayal infinitely worse. Matt stopped eating. Not all at once. Gradual. First veggies, then meat, then everything but the bare minimum so Sean wouldn't fully panic. Just one more bite, champ. Not hungry. You haven't eaten all day. I ate at school. Lie. Teacher called. Matt gave away his lunch. Sat alone at recess. His drawings shifted from happy families to lone figures under gray clouds. You keep thinking about Laura. Matt's eyes filled with tears. She said she wouldn't go. I know. Why'd she lie? It's complicated. Adults always say that when they don't want to explain. He pushed his plate. You don't want to talk to me anymore because I remind you of her. Sean felt stabbed. Matt, no, never. You're the most important thing in my life, but you're sad all the time. I hear you cry at night. I know words. I miss having a mom again. Matt wiped his eyes. Even if it was just for a little while. Sean hugged him, feeling his son's bones more prominent than 2 months ago. Martha was right. Laura had hurt them both. So why couldn't he stop missing her? Work was torture. Carlos and the others tried helping, filling silences with jokes and baseball talk. But Wednesday Lunch 1 came with a gossip magazine. Didn't want to show you, but you should know. Cover screamed, Eris Sanders. Secrets and scandals. Sean snatched it. Pages on Laura photos at charity galas, corporate events, hotel openings. Designer dresses, jewels that could feed families for years. One photo showed her cutting ribbon on a huge building. Sanders Developments opens luxury tower in Midtown. The building he worked on. Another photo, Laura with a handsome man in tux. Laura Sanders and Senator Mark Palmer at New Year's Gala 2024. Romance on the horizon. Articles speculated on her personal life, recent mysterious absences from social circuits, rumors of secret romance. She's from another world, bro, said Carlos gently. I know. Look where she lives, her clothes, everything. Sean studied the photos. In each, Laura smiled perfectly, looked perfect, was perfectly unattainable. Nothing like the woman flying kites in the park. Know what's weird? He said slowly. In none of these does she look happy. She's smiling and all, not the same. And it wasn't. Sean had seen her real smile, the one when Matt said something funny when they ate hot dogs in the park when she kissed him as sunset. That smile wasn't in any photos. You think she really cared? Asked another coworker. Or just playing? Sean thought of her tears that night. Desperation in her voice. I love you. I don't know, he admitted finally. Don't know anything anymore? Laura was wrecked. The board stared like she was a stranger. Her dad, on video from Miami, had stopped yelling 10 minutes ago and now just watched silently. Let me see if I understand, said the Robert voice dripping satisfaction. You want to resign as CEO? I don't want to. I am. Why? Asked her sister Anna. For a man. For myself. Laura. This is ridiculous. Her dad found his voice. You're having a crisis. Take vacation, go to therapy, but don't throw away your life. For what? Love Laura laughed without humor. Isn't that what everyone seeks? Love doesn't pay bills? No, she stood, but money doesn't buy happiness either. Dad, you should know that better than anyone. Her dad tensed. I've lived 32 years doing what's expected, being who I was supposed to be, building this empire because it was my duty. Her voice cracked. And I've been miserable every damn day. Laura, I met someone who saw me. Really saw me, not my last name, not my bank account, not my connections. Me. And I lost it because I was so scared of being this, she gestured around, that I lied about everything. Then go fix it, said Anna, but don't destroy your career. My career's already destroyed. I can't focus, can't lead, can't. She sat heavily. Can't keep living a lie. Robert leaned forward. If you resign, who takes your place? You. You're the main partner after me. It'd be you. His smile, shark-like smelling blood. I'm willing to accept the responsibility. I'm sure you are. Laura looked him straight. But hear me, well, I'll keep my shares. Still, majority shareholder. If you destroy what my family built, I'll destroy you. The smile faltered. Threats, promises. Her dad sighed from the screen. If this is what you really wanted, then you have my support, though I think you're making the biggest mistake of your life. Or the first right one. That night, her mom showed up uninvited at her apartment. Susan Sanders had spent 35 years as developer's wife, perfectly coiffed, dressed empty. Your dad's furious, I know. Says you're crazy. Probably. Her mom sat studying her. Do you love him with every part of me? And he hates me, and he's right to. No one's right to hate. Her mom took her hand. Did you know I met your dad when I was a waitress? Laura blinked. What? Worked at a diner in Miami Beach. Summer '87. He was there with friends. Rich, handsome, charming. Fell like an idiot. Never told this. Because it's not the story society wants. Her mom smiled sadly. He courted me all summer. Thought he loved me. But season ended, he vanished. 6 months later, reappeared. Family arranged engagement to a Miami heiress, but she rejected him. I was his second choice. Mom, I married him anyway because I was stupid and in love and thought money didn't matter. Her eyes teared. But it did. Every day for 35 years it mattered. I felt inadequate, inferior, like an imposter playing at something I never was. I didn't know. I got good at acting. She squeezed Laura's hand. But you have a different chance. You met someone when you were real, no pretenses or performances. That's rare, Laura. Rarer than any diamond. But I lied, destroyed it. Then fix it. Fight for him. Her mom stood. And if it doesn't work, at least you know you tried. That's more than I can say. After she left, Laura called Patricia. Need you to do something. Set up a press conference. For what I'm resigning publicly. And saying exactly why. The conference was a media circus. Laura stood before dozens of cameras dressed simply but elegantly, no jewelry except earrings her grandma gave. Thanks for coming. I have an announcement. Flashes exploded. She waited them out. Effective immediately, I resign as CEO of Sanders Developments. I'll keep my shares but step away from daily operations. Chaos shouted questions everywhere. Why? Because I've been living a lie. Her voice steady. For years, I've been the perfect heiress, perfect executive, perfect image of success, and deeply unhappy. Is there someone else? Yes. She breathed deep. I met someone who saw me without the name, without the money, without expectations. Saw me as a person. And I lost that because I feared showing my real life. Who is he? Doesn't matter. What matters is he taught me something that I'd rather have one real moment than a lifetime of gilded illusions. Are you saying money didn't make you happy? I'm saying money without love is just numbers in an account. And I've had enough numbers. Tears streamed, but she didn't wipe them. I want something real, even if it costs everything. And if he doesn't forgive you, Laura smiled sadly. Then, at least I'll know I tried, that I chose love over convenience, that I was finally brave. The conference erupted in more questions, but Patricia pulled her out to a waiting car. That was insane. I know. It'll be everywhere. Good. And if Sean doesn't even see it, then I'll find another way. Sean saw it. Everyone did. His phone blew up with messages. Carlos rushed to his apartment that night, tablet in hand. You gotta see this. The conference video had millions of views. Clips circulated all social media. Sean watched it fully 3 times. Each word hammering him. Saw me as a person? Rather, one real moment than gilded illusions. Finally brave. She resigned for you, said Carlos quietly. Gave up everything. Or it's a PR stunt. You think she faked those tears? Sean thought of all her tears in the park at Hudson Yards, all real, all devastating. I don't know what to believe. Then decide. Carlos pointed at the screen. Because that woman just sacrificed her whole career publicly for you, and if you let her go without fighting, you're the biggest idiot I know. After Carlos left, Sean sat in darkness. Matt slept next room. Dreaming of families that no longer existed. His pride screamed, "Stay away," she lied. It'd never work. But his heart remembered her laugh, her kindness, how she looked at Matt like he was the most precious thing, how she looked at him. He opened his phone. Laura's messages still there, unread. His finger hovered over the first. He could forgive or not. Outside New York, breathed and slept indifferent to a broken man making his life's most important decision. Days dragged like years. Sean read and reread Laura's ignored messages from weeks ago. each a knife in his chest. Please let me explain. Never meant to hurt you. Matt deserves a better explanation than I can give. I love you. I know you don't believe me, but it's true. The last from 3 days ago, I'm giving up. Not because I stopped loving you, but because I finally understand love means respecting your wishes. Even when that wish is for me to disappear, I'll always love you and Matt. That'll never change. Matt shuffled in backpack hanging off one shoulder. School ended an hour ago. Normally, he'd run home. How was your day? Fine. What did you do? Stuff? Sean closed his phone. Matt, look at me. The boy looked up. Eyes too old for 7. I know you're sad. I am too. But we gotta move on. Why? That's life. That's stupid. Matt, it's stupid. He dropped his backpack. Miss Laura made a mistake. So what? You forgive my mistakes all the time. We talked about this. It's different. Why? Because she has money and we don't. It's not just that. Then what is it? Sean searched for words a kid could understand. She lied about who she was. No, Matt looked straight. She was scared you'd treat her different because of her money, and she was right because that's exactly what you're doing. It's not that simple. Yes, it is. The boy crossed his arms. Let me ask you, Dad. If you lost your job tomorrow, if we were really poor, would I stop loving you? Of course not. If I had lots of money someday, would you stop being my dad? Never. Then why does it matter that Miss Laura has money? Tears ran down his face. Or, you were right before and she didn't really want us. It was, you're wrong now and being a fool, Matt. I said the bad word, punish me, I don't care. He ran to his room, slamming the door. Sean sat in the following silence. Out of the mouths of babes. Had he been punishing Laura for having money or for lying? If she'd told the truth that first cafe day, he'd have left. He knew with absolute certainty. His pride never would have let him stay. She feared losing him, so she lied. And by reacting exactly as she feared, he'd proven she was right to fear. Sean walked to Matt's room, knocked softly. Can I come in? Silence? Then it's open. Matt lay on his bed, hugging Ellen's teddy. Sean sat on the edge. You're right. About what? Everything. I was a fool, a proud, stubborn, complete fool. Seriously, seriously. Sean exhaled shakily. I was so busy being mad about her lies I didn't see the bigger truth. What truth? That she loved me before knowing about the money. I fell for her before knowing about the money. So none of that ever mattered. Then why does it matter now? It doesn't. Shouldn't have. He took her hands. I was punishing you for having money, not lying. And that's wrong. Laura sobbed. I should have told you. Every day I waited made it worse. I know. And that was wrong too, but I understand why. His thumb stroked her knuckles. I saw your press conference. Watched it probably 100 times. Yeah, I resigned for myself, but yeah, for you too. Laura looked straight. Because I'd rather a real life with you than a fake one without. But can you really live without all the luxury, Sean? Your world has something mine never did. What you? Matt, real laughs, real love moments that matter. She smiled through tears. All the money in the world can't buy what I felt flying kites with you guys in the park, even if it means cheap coffees and hot dogs instead of fancy restaurants, especially that. Matt interrupted, impatient. You gonna kiss already? This is taking forever. Both laughed, sound mixing with rain and tears. You're right. Sean stood pulling Laura up. Rain fell harder now, but neither moved to cover. Sorry I was a proud idiot, he said. Sorry, I lied, she said. Can we start over? Completely. He pulled her close, this time with all the truth. I'm Sean Turner, construction worker. Study engineering nights, have a 7-year-old son who's my whole world. Don't have much money, but lots of love to give. Laura smiled, tears and rain mixing on her face. I'm Laura Sanders. Used to be CEO, but I quit. Have lots of money, but learned it doesn't make me happy. And I'm completely in love with a stubborn man who makes me want to be a better person. Better how? More honest, braver, more real. Sean kissed her then, under the same rain where it all began. Same spot where a kid asked the impossible and somehow magically the impossible became real. Finally, yelled Matt, running to them. He accused Laura. You knew about this. Obviously, I helped pick the ring. He ran into them. You said yes. I said yes. I knew it. Matt victory danced. I told you, told everyone my dad needed a wife and I found the perfect one. The cafe customers laughed. Sean scooped up Matt, hugging tight. "You were right, little one. Totally right." They sat at their table under the awning, Matt between all holding hands. So said Laura, "What now?" "Now," Sean squeezed her hand, "we do this right. No lies, no secrets. And your pride'll have to learn to shut up." He grinned. "Because I'm choosing love over pride, and that's the smartest thing I've done in months." Matt took a huge sip of chocolate, leaving a foam mustache. "Does this mean Miss Laura can come live with us, Matt, what?" "We need to ask the important question." Laura laughed. "Maybe eventually, but first your dad and I need to know each other for real, all parts. All of them." He looked at Sean. "The good, the bad, the complicated. I have lots of complicated. Me too. But we'll try." "Yes." Laura kissed his cheek. "Definitely, yes." The rain kept falling. New York kept moving around them. But at that small table under the cafe awning, 3 people found something money couldn't buy. They found family truth love worth every risk, every tear, every fearful moment. And in the place it all began with a child's impossible plea. They started anew, this time with all truth, all love, forever. A year passed, like a sigh, and eternity at once. Laura woke to sun filtering through the curtains of the Brooklyn apartment, 3 bedrooms, creaky wood floors, kitchen, barely fitting 2. Perfect. Sean was already up making coffee in the machine that broke every other week, but he refused to replace because it has character. "Morning, architect," he said without turning. "Morning, engineer. 6 months ago, Sean graduated." Laura cried more than him at the ceremony. Now he worked as project manager at her firm Sanders and Associates, which no longer built luxury towers but affordable housing. Equal partners. Finally. Matt, still asleep, miraculously. Sean handed her a mug. "Though he has baseball at 9, so the miracle ends soon. I'll wake him." Laura entered Matt's room. Walls covered in drawings, baseball trophies, photos. One photo always made her smile. The 3 in the park, Matt in middle, all laughing. "Mommy? Laura?" The boy murmured, half asleep. Her heart melted as always. "Mommy Laura. No, Mom." That word belonged to Ellen, always would. But Mommy Laura was hers and enough. "Up, champ. You got baseball. 5 more minutes. You said that 10 minutes ago. This time I mean it." Laura tickled him till he screamed laughing, rolling off bed. Okay, I'm up." The next Sunday was family barbecue. Laura's parents arrived first in their Mercedes, looking awkward in the working-class neighborhood. A year ago, they wouldn't have come. Now they came monthly, slowly learning to drop prejudices. George and Martha arrived by subway bringing salads and Matt stories. The first time both families met was a disaster. Laura's parents looked down on everyone. George and Martha felt judged. Matt cried. But Sean put his foot down. "Either we accept each other as family, all of us, or no family at all." It took time, many awkward talks, many bridges built, but Laura's dad and George now talked baseball like old friends. Her mom and Martha swapped recipes. Anna, Laura's sister, spoiled Matt like her own nephew. "Meat's ready," Sean announced from the grill. They sat around the improvised balcony table, shared plates, cheap beer tasting better than any fine vintage. "A toast," said Laura's dad, raising his glass. "To family, the one we inherit and the one we choose." To family, all repeated. Matt whispered to Laura, "Your dad's getting less grumpy." She laughed. "Good, 'cause I want him as my grandpa when you marry Dad." Laura nearly choked on her beer. "Who said we're marrying?" Everyone knows. Dad looks at rings on his phone when he thinks no one's watching. Her heart jumped. Seriously, she supposed to be surprised. The following Thursday rained. Sean showed at her office noon. "Drop everything. I have a meeting in an hour. Cancel it." "Why?" "Because it's our anniversary, and there's a tradition to keep." The cafe looked the same. The waiter, greeted by name, now leading to their table he kept reserved yearly on this date. "Don Ricardo, you're too good to us. You two are my favorite love story." He winked. Hot chocolates coming. They sat. Rain fell outside just like a year ago, like 2 years ago on their first meet. "Remember?" asked Sean. "Every detail. A crazy kid asked me to marry his dad." "That kid's a genius. That kid's ours," corrected Sean. "Ours, in every way that matters." The hot chocolates arrived. They sipped in comfortable silence, watching the city. Happy asked Sean suddenly, credibly. Don't miss anything, the luxury hotel's fancy restaurants, the Sean Turner. If you ask that once more, I'll hit you. He laughed. Just need to make sure. I'm sure. Surer of this than anything in my life. She took his hand. This life with you and Matt in that noisy apartment with arguing neighbors on Sundays, it's all I want. Even with my horrible coffee machine, especially that. Sean breathed deep. Then there's something I need to ask. What? He knelt right there in the crowded cafe under the same awning where it began. Laura's world stopped. Laura Sanders. I know, this isn't the most expensive ring you've seen. He pulled a box. Probably the cheapest, but I paid for it myself with honest earned money, and it represents something no money can buy. He opened it. Simple silver band with a small stone. It represents my promise to love you honestly, to be your equal, not your employee or project, to build a life where neither pretends to be something they're not. Tears streamed down Laura's face. Will you marry me again for real this time? Because they were already married. They'd gone to City Hall 3 months ago. Simple ceremony with just Matt and Patricia as witnesses. But this was different. Yes, she sobbed. 1,000 times yes. The cafe erupted in applause. Laura hadn't noticed everyone watching. Don Ricardo cried openly, wiping eyes with his apron. Sean slid the ring on her finger. Perfect. I love you. I love you too. They kissed as rain fell outside and strangers clapped. And Don Ricardo declared all hot chocolates free for the day. The cafe door opened. Matt rushed in, soaked and grinning. It happened already. I missed it. Knew about this, Laura accused. Obviously. He ran to them. You said yes. I said yes, I knew. Matt, victory danced. Told everyone my dad needed a wife and I found the perfect one. Cafe patrons laughed. Sean lifted Matt, hugging tight. You were right, kiddo. Totally right. They sat, the three at their table, Matt between all holding hands. Laura looked around the cafe, this ordinary place, staging their extraordinary love story. What are you thinking? Asked Sean. That your son asked me to marry you in this exact spot, and it happened eventually. He smiled. After lots of drama. The best kind of story. Matt interrupted. Can I tell the story at the wedding? The part where Dad thought you were just an office manager? Absolutely not. Please. It's the best part. It's the most embarrassing part, which is why it's the best. Laura laughed. This woman who'd renounced an empire for love and regretted not a second looked at Sean. This man who'd chosen vulnerability over pride and won everything. And at Matt, the boy who'd made an impossible plea to a stranger in rain and changed 3 lives forever. Know what? Said Laura. Tell the whole story. The lies, the pride, the mistakes, all of it. Why? Asked Sean. Because it's real, and real is the only thing worth it. Outside, rain finally stopped. Sun peeked through clouds painting New York golden. But inside the cafe at their table, 3 people found something brighter than any sun. They found family forged not by blood or money, but choice and love and courage. They found home not in walls, but hearts. They found proof that the most impossible love stories are sometimes the truest. And it all began with a boy, a rainstorm, and a simple question, Mrs. My dad needs a wife. The answer took time, tears, and truth, but worth every second. What did you think of Sean, Laura, and Matt's story? Leave your comments below. On a scale of 0 to 10, how would you rate this story? Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you don't miss any of our stories. Yeah,